What is going on, guys? Hope you guys are doing well. I'm back on the Battlefield 5 open beta, sharing with you guys some of the gameplay footage that I took. I want to feature one of the weapons today and talk about my progression on this gun and how I felt about it overall. The weapon today is one of the new SMGs we had a chance to experience, and this was the Suomi KP31. I feel like this weapon initially branched itself off from the other three SMGs that were available for the medic class, mainly because it had a 770 fire rate, which was a bit different from all the other SMGs that were clocked in around 500 or so for their fire rate. So that was a bit attractive for the first part. It did have a trade-off though because of this, and because of the higher fire rate, the accuracy of the gun wasn't as good as all the other three SMGs, and its control was substantially reduced as well. I'd have to say I was definitely noticing this as I was playing. It felt like trying to extend the range on this gun was a bit difficult, so I pretty much gave up on it pretty early on to try to extend the range on this gun, and decided if I was going to go down the progressive branch tree that I wanted to really improve its hip firing. If hip firing on the SMGs aren't good enough already, I figured I'm really going to dedicate this gun to make it a hip firing beast. So when it came to progressing this weapon, of course, everyone has to go through the first two parts, which is quick aim and more accurate hip fire. So in my case, that worked out really nice because, again, I want to improve the hip firing as much as I can. And then continuing on the right side of the progression branch tree, I got the less horizontal recoil, which should help me when it comes to hip firing. I got the extended magazine, which has nothing to do with the control or hip firing on my weapon, but I tell you what, it's kind of nice to have as you increase your ammo capacity up to 50, which I think is a pretty substantial difference when it comes to using this gun. Then I got the mag dump hip fire, which reduces accuracy penalty from firing in the hip fire mode. So again, went really hardcore on the hip firing side. I didn't feel like the left side of the progression branch tree was really going to benefit me with improving my accuracy or control for my gun and giving me those longer range kills. I felt like the only part that might have helped me would have been the less vertical recoil. But everything else, like the quick deploy, which allows you to shoot weapons quicker after sprinting or swapping before your primary and secondary weapon, or using the higher fire rate, which increases rate of fire in fully automatic fire, or the faster movement while aiming. I don't think any of these really would have made a substantial difference in improving that range for this gun. Now, I will say I did have an optic equipped for this weapon, and I felt like it did improve the accuracy for me. I'm not saying that this is going to be the weapon of your choice if you're trying to take out people who are substantially further away from you, but it did feel like it helped me out a bit. I will address though that a lot of people were having a hard time having some of these optics on their gun because they felt like it was too dark, and already DICE has begun to address this issue. They've already posted an image on the new version for the optics, and I know some people might still think it's still a little bit too dark, and we actually had some of the devs reply about this. One of them, who is Florian, who is part of the devs team for DICE, and he said that we're most likely going to keep some of the tint on those sights, but in a more reasonable fashion. We need to have some slight drawbacks to having a reflex sight, else there is no point running an iron sight anymore. So DICE is trying to make it a little bit more reasonable when using these reflex optics, and not again making it as cloudy as what it was, even though it still felt like it benefited me to use even the clouded tinted version of this optic on the open beta, and it did feel like it increased my accuracy, but that could have just been me and the struggles that I was having when I was trying to push the accuracy of this gun. But again, they want to keep it balanced, so they want to give a little bit of tint there to not make the iron sight so obsolete. But once I dug my heels in and pretty much gave up on trying to extend the range and accuracy of this gun and made it purely a hip fire mode and only close quarter combat, I was really feeling the benefits while using this. Not sure if that would have been the best route to take, considering again these guns are already well off with the hip firing for them, but that was the route I chose to take. So I'll let you guys kind of see exactly with a little bit of the gameplay that I did have for you guys to make up your mind if you think it was a better route to go down the hip firing mode, or maybe that, you know, less vertical recoil and the higher fire rate would have helped me out. you can let me know your thoughts in the comments below, how you guys feel about this, if you guys chose to branch off on that side, or what you might change in the future when Battlefield launches for us in November. But interesting stuff. Still haven't made up my mind yet off of the SMGs, which ones I liked more. It seemed like the Suomi over time began to pick up for me, and I'm going to realize how much of a solid weapon this was. I did really well using the EMP, so I was really liking the EMP more and more, and the MP40 even stocked. I was having some crazy moments with that gun. I think the only weapon I didn't do really well with the SMG was the Sten, but that was pretty surprising considering I was getting destroyed by the Sten the whole time I was on the battlefield. So I think it was more me than the gun, but I'll have to relook at my footage, and I do want to bring out more of the SMGs and how I progressed them for you guys, and you guys can let me know what you guys think about that and how you guys felt when it came to progressing your gun on the battlefield. But that is it for you guys today. Again, I always appreciate you guys being here. I am Livin', and I'll catch you guys again later.